Hey everyone, it's Angela with Mystic Moon, bringing you guys the weekly soul connection reading. And so this is going to be for today's date, which is Monday, February 8th, going all the way until Sunday, February 14th. So this could be for any kind of a connection, twin flame, soulmate, however you resonate with this person. We are not really focusing on labels here today, just the energies between you and them. So just take what resonates, you guys, and get rid of what doesn't. The beautiful orgonite that we're going to be using here today, this is the Black Magic Woman Rose orgonite created by my friend Michelle from Wing and Bell. So I will put her information down below. And all the decks I'm going to be using here today, I'll let you guys know what they are as I shuffle each deck. So we've got the cats here. This morning, they're being a little noisy in the background. So if you guys hear some things, such as the automatic litter box that's going on right now, that's what that noise is. Anyways, let's get into it, you guys. So the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to focus on what is the energy that is representing this connection currently, okay? What is the energy that is representing this connection currently? This right here is called the Mausolea Oracle. I may not be saying that name correctly, but that's how I feel like it's pronounced. All right. What is the energy that is representing this connection this week? Okay, so we have Sharon, and I might not be saying that name, maybe Sharon, the ferryman, necessity, focus, and transition. So whenever I see, anybody in a boat, to me, that is telling me that there is a period, this is a period of transition, like we're moving from one phase to the next. So I definitely feel like something perhaps like maybe an old chapter is being closed, old doors being closed, that way a new door can be opened. So there is some sort of transition here. Something is shifting and changing. So we're going to go ahead and now go into my charm cards and get a few topics on what that transition may have to do with. There could also be a traveling over waters. Kind of looks like a Six of Swords energy to me. Maybe somebody is traveling overseas. Okay, so we have mirror, which is image. We have handcuffs, incarceration. And we have snowman, winter. Okay, so for some of you guys, this is telling us that there is maybe some sort of a season that is attached to something. Handcuffs, obviously, doesn't necessarily indicate that it's an actual incarceration, as in someone is in prison or jail. Even though that could be the story for some, but it means that we are feeling trapped in some sort of way. Obviously, the mirror is about us looking at ourselves, taking a good look at the reflection that we're seeing in the mirror, taking some sort of responsibility, accountability, personal inventory, etc. What is it that we're seeing? What is this image telling us? Could even be that we're looking at someone else and we're trying to figure out what is this image telling us, what's happening here. So immediately what I'm seeing here with that winter's energy, yes, this could be a time frame, but I see winter as something that is frozen in time, dormant type of energy that might be frozen over, stuck, somebody's being iced out, etc. So to me, this is telling me stuck energy. And we're transitioning. We're taking a look at ourselves. We're focusing on ourselves. So I really like that we have that word now, focus. We're focusing on our own image, and we're taking a look to see what we are attributing to this feeling of being stuck at this present time. Are we blaming our person for feeling stuck? Or are we taking a look at ourselves and saying, you know what? I'm only as stuck as I believe myself to be. I'm only stuck, and this is just an example, I'm only stuck being pissed off if I allow myself to, marinate in that energy. I'm only as angry as I am allowing myself to be. I'm only as stuck as I believe myself to be. So there is some sort of taking an opportunity to look at ourselves and to, in a way, place, and I don't want to say blame, but we're no longer placing blame on our partner. We're taking a good look at ourselves. So that's actually a really positive energy to me, because what this does is it helps to transition us from stuck energy that's dormant, energy that is not really serving us in a positive way, and we're transitioning out of that stuck energy. It's actually really quite beautiful. So we're going to go into the Tarot de la Nuit. Let's take a look and see the masculine, whoever the masculine, does not have to be a male, but the masculine's energy in the situation. Let's see what their energy is connected to these circumstances. Okay, so we have 5 of Cups. So this masculine at this particular time, it may be feeling somewhat regretful and sad, or maybe even stuck or hung up on past issues, things that were just a letdown. Now, this could be their own depression, their own sadness for the way things turned out, or it could just be that they're taking a look at, you know, their own, like I said, personal inventory and what they may have attributed to this downfall or this situation. All right, what else? We have the Sun. And the Sun to me is growth, personal growth and development, illuminating from the shadows. And I really feel like there is some sort of shadow that is being illuminated. People are taking the time that they need in order to take a good look at themselves and see what everybody has attributed to the situation. So I keep getting that over and over again, personal inventory. People are taking personal inventory of themselves. They're not looking outside of themselves to blame or to hold other people accountable or responsible for their actions. And last one, we have the 8 of Cups. So I really like this because transitioning from the 5 to the 8, this tells me that we're cutting ties, we're walking away, we are transitioning into healthier energy. So if you are feminine watching this video, your masculine to me looks like he is actually ascending on this journey. And when I say he, that's just the way I channel you guys. He looks like he's actually ascending on this journey. He's moving forward, whatever he has been stuck in perhaps, or feels, you know, kind of dormant, or has been sleeping, kind of hibernating. There is some sort of ascension that's taking place, walking away. And sometimes we do have to separate ourselves from what has happened, disasters, and give ourselves that time and space to kind of figure things out. And so this masculine, if he has walked away from this feminine, it is for illumination purposes. It is for personal growth and development purposes. So there's a transition that's taking place at this time with this masculine, and he's taking personal inventory when it comes to his shadows and his behaviors that may have caused sadness and disappointment, either in this situation or in his life. So that's actually quite beautiful. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look and see the feminine's energy, okay? And I'm seeing Sharon, okay? That's a really strange way to spell the name Sharon, but if your name happens to be Sharon, this could be a very specific message for you today. Okay. All right, so this is for the feminine in the situation. Okay, we have the moon. And it's kind of cool because we have the masculine and the feminine, which actually the moon is feminine and the masculine is sun. So you guys are both in your element. You guys are definitely both in your element. And I'm assuming I'm speaking to feminines because that is about 96% of my, in the statistics, 96% of my viewers. So that's why I feel comfortable saying that you're probably feminine if you're watching this video. Anyways, the moon's energy, though, is definitely about, again, we're illuminating from our shadows. We're taking a good look. We're taking a good look at our dark aspects. We're taking a look at the confusion. And we are growing from those shadows. Anything that's been confusing, anything that's been an illusion, we're wanting to clear this up. Okay? Any illusions or any lies or deceptions that we've been living in or telling ourselves, we're wanting to transition out of that energy. We're wanting to transition out of dark times, that's for sure. We don't want to be stuck anymore in that situation or in that way of thinking or living. Yeah, see? Death. And this just goes to confirm here. This is transition. Death means I'm done with this phase. I'm done with this phase and I want to move past this. I want to move on. So some of you guys might be looking to transition past this person. That could be it. You may want to take a break from this connection. You may want to give this person time and space that they need in order to figure things out. Maybe they'll come back, maybe they won't, but you're certainly going to move forward with your life, which is great. Now, for some of you, of course, this could be that you guys are transitioning in this relationship to a new phase. Okay, so take it as it resonates. But there's definitely some sort of energy here. We could also have a moon in Scorpio, okay? So I don't even know when the heck that is, but moon in Scorpio, some sort of new full moon or something like that. There could be a special time where you're really going to be feeling the transition or the releasement of what no longer serves you during that period of time. And we have Nine of Cups. I really love this a lot because the thing is, you are going towards the Nine of Cups. This death and this darkness or whatever it is that you're going through right now, it's not leading you to darker times. It's actually leading you to happier times. Nine of Cups is wishes fulfilled. All of our cups are running over. This to me is one of the most feel-good cards besides the Sun. You know, we're feeling really, really happy. We don't emotionally need another person in order to provide our happiness. This is definitely a personal happiness card. We're feeling really, really good and satisfied with ourselves and our development and our lives and the decisions that we've made. So to me, you're going towards a very happy time. You're transitioning to something much better for yourselves. And it could be for some of you guys, whatever wish that you've had, you've really been hoping and praying and wishing for something positive to happen. This could be like an indication or a confirmation that whatever it is that you're really, really wanting and desiring is on the horizon for you after this period of stagnation. So that's what's happening when it comes to the connection currently. You guys are definitely, you have a lot of connective cards. And what I mean by that is we have the 5, 8, and 9 of Cups. So there has been some sort of disappointment in the past. And it's kind of like, are we choosing to focus on the spilt milk? Are we going to cry over it? Or are we going to move forward? I'm seeing that this masculine does want to disconnect from this past sadness and move forward and to ascend and grow. You certainly also want to be very happy as well. You know, you want to work on yourself and do you. We also have the Sun and the Moon, which is masculine and feminine energy at work here. So both of you guys are going about this connection in a different way, but it's necessary for your personal development and growth. And this right here is the transition and the transformation that needs to take place, because we can no longer look at other people and blame other people for our sadness, for our issues, for our problems. It is time for us to look in the mirror and take personal inventory and basically take personal account, like be accountable for our own decisions in this life. That's ultimately what it comes down to. Because if we're so busy blaming the other for how we're feeling or what we're doing or where we're still stuck or all those things, we will continue to stay incarcerated and frozen in time and not be able to transition into anything new for ourselves. So there's a huge taking personal accountability for our own happiness and not applying it to each other anymore. That's huge in this reading today. So that's the energies that represent this connection presently. So that's very powerful. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and see what is this masculine's specific energy towards his feminine at this time, okay? What are his specific energies towards this feminine? So we're going to go into the Power of Love cards. I'm just going to get one card from this deck. What is the overall energy that this masculine has towards this feminine? We have self-love. I really like this a lot because it doesn't mean that this masculine doesn't care for the feminine, but he's really more focused on himself at this time. And that's really important, especially with this 8 of Cups energy and the Sun, the growth energy. This masculine does need to perhaps grow. Does need to grow from perhaps these past mistakes that he may have made or any kind of past unhappiness that was created. So self, it's like I'm taking a look in my own mirror and I'm taking, remember, that personal inventory. So let's go ahead and go into my arrows of love. What else do we got going on? Let's see some mental energy from the masculine for the feminine. What is he thinking currently? We have Lover in the Night. So it could be that this masculine is actually really thinking about the feminine at night. And we have for his emotions, we have love potential. So head and heart space. And to me, this is growth, obviously, that love potential. There's a lot of growth here. There's a lot of growth. This right here is my Twin Flame Journey Messages Volume 1. Let's go ahead and see the mental energy. We have, I know that you're right, but I do need to come to my own conclusions. So this masculine needs to come to his own conclusions on his own, himself. It can't be anything that's told to the masculine. It can't be anything that is, told to him by the feminine. He has to look in his mirror and figure things out for himself. So you feminine could have told your masculine something about himself. And, but the thing is though, is that he's got to work something through. So it's almost like your messages or what the conversations that you guys have had, the words that you have spoken to this masculine are with him at night. They linger in the nighttime, or he actually has dreams and you're coming through his dreams. And this is the emotions. Being apart has been life-changing for me. So it definitely does affect this masculine being in a separation or a challenge with this feminine currently, okay? That's definitely something that affects him on a heart level, on an emotional level. And I forgot to read this. It says, self-love. You realize that love of self is necessary to love another. So this masculine does need to work on himself and love himself before he can truly love this feminine. But in his heart space, there is potential. There's growth happening. We just saw this with the Sun and the Eight of Cups. He is ascending on this journey. Now, it may be slow growing. It may be, at a slower pace than the feminine would like, but there is definitely some kind of growth and development that's happening. So being in separation, having these challenges, going what you guys went through, and also that Five of Cups energy has actually been life-changing for this masculine. It's a part of his ascension on the Eight of Cups path to, reflect on the past, to look at himself, to come to his own conclusions with time, okay? So let's go ahead and get some tarot here. This right here is the Enchanted Love Tarot. We have the Five of Wands, okay? Five of Roses in this deck is the Five of Wands, and the key word is competition, temporary. For some, okay? It could be that this feminine has another partner. It could even be for this masculine too, that he has another partner, but we have temporary. It's only temporary, okay? It's only temporary that there's this competition or this struggle. It's only temporary that this masculine is with someone else at this particular time. I'm getting that for some of you. But the Five of Wands on its own is struggle. It's having a difficult time working things out with someone. So this is a temporary state of affairs. I know you're right. I know that we have issues, but I do need to come to my own conclusions. So if this masculine is with someone right now, another lover, and this feminine has tried to tell this masculine, this person is just using you, this person isn't good for you or whatever, or he's got a karmic partner, this masculine does have to come to his own conclusions about this situation. It cannot be told to him by the feminine, okay? So that's where he's at in his headspace. So just, again, take it as it resonates, because not for all of you, this message is not for all of you, meaning there may not be third party here. But if there is third party, that's what this is about. But anyways, I feel like what this is really telling us overall is that in the nighttime, this masculine, when he's, putting his head on his pillow, or he's just got some downtime, because, when you're going to bed, it's like you're quieting your thoughts, and you're just really, you've got all that time really before you fall asleep. Your mind is just kind of filtering out. That is when he's really thinking about his feminine. And he's trying to come to some sort of conclusion, and he is going through where they went wrong, where he went wrong, where the feminine went wrong, where they could have done things better. But he's got to come to his own conclusions. Okay? So let's now take a look and see the emotions. Okay, so we have the Four of Swords. I'm sorry, no, Four of Shells, which is the Four of Cups. Jeez. So the Four of Cups, you guys, reevaluation. Four of Cups is one of those cards that we're declining an offer. We're not really seeing what's in front of us. So some people can see that as a rejection card. So emotionally right now, this masculine may not be accepting what the feminine has to offer. He may not have what it takes to offer anything at this time. He realizes perhaps that love of the self is necessary to love her, and he may not have that right now. So that could be one of the reasons why Four of Cups is coming through. It gives him an opportunity to reevaluate what he truly wants, what he truly desires, what's important to him. The separation, or whatever you guys are going through right now, is actually very necessary, and it will be life-changing for this masculine to perhaps give potential later on. So emotionally, I'm seeing here that this masculine is growing from what him and his feminine have gone through, okay? It is going to be life-changing for him. Now, does this guarantee that he will do a 180 and come back and be the man of her dreams? No, nothing is guaranteed in life. But we're just checking in energetically to where this masculine is at, and that seems to be where the energy is. He really needs to focus on himself, and he may be failing to see a mistake that he's making right now, but he has to come to his own conclusions, okay? That's what we're getting. Okay, so now let's take a look and see what is this feminine's energy towards this masculine. So we're going to do the same decks here. One overall energy for this feminine to the masculine. We have action. You have the courage to express the unique loving colors of your soul. Okay, so she may want to take action towards this masculine. She might be finding it difficult though, because, you know, there's some things that he needs to figure out on his own. Okay, mental energy. We have blessing in disguise and emotions. Love line revived. Let's get the words here. Heart space. Okay, I know I screwed things up and I honestly don't have any idea how I'm going to fix it. And emotions. I just wasn't ready for you. And let's get tarot. Death. So the death card is connected to the feminine once again in this reading. And the Three of Pentacles. Okay. So what I'm gathering from this little lineup here is obviously action. It says you have the courage to express the unique loving colors of your soul. I feel like this feminine right now, this is about the masculine, obviously, because this is how she's feeling about the masculine. It could be his lack of action or his inability to take action towards her. She's actually seeing this as a blessing in disguise. So as much as she may want to, you know, have things be a little bit different, change things, have things be more in alignment with being together with her masculine, in a way she's almost realizing that the ending of their connection or whatever they've had to go through, wherever they went wrong, is actually a blessing in disguise. Because this is actually going to just make things that much better at a later date, or their connection much stronger, because they're both growing. And sometimes people have to fall apart and screw things up before they really understand what they truly have. I've personally gone through that myself. So sometimes it's absolutely, disasters can be blessings in disguise. It helps to realign things. It helps to light a firecracker under your ass. It helps you to really see what you want and what you don't want, what's really important and what's not. So I feel like this is a transformation, death now coming up. In my opinion, 3 times it's come up in this reading here today. 2 connected to the feminine and 1 connected to the connection. So it's very much necessary for things to fall apart. Okay. Now somebody doesn't know how they're going to fix this. They don't have any idea whether or not, you know what? Sharky's locked up in the library. Let me just get her out real quick. Sorry, guys. Come on, get out. Sorry, guys. She's good now. Okay. So this feminine may not have any idea how to basically move forward and repair this connection with this masculine. She has no idea, honestly, how they're gonna fix it, but she does understand and know that in order for them to get to a better place, that things may have needed to fall apart. I'm also getting too that this feminine may have already made up her mind that she is no longer going to pursue this masculine, and that if he wants to take action towards her and he shows signs of wanting to fix this and put things back together, you know, she'll decide at that time whether or not she wants to, now we're going to revive this connection. Do I still want this? Is this something that I still want to do? Okay, am I ready for you? In the past, this masculine was not ready for this feminine, is what I'm getting here. She'll have to decide when he returns, if he returns, and wants to put effort towards fixing this. Is she going to be ready for this? Is that what she wants? Does she want to work together? Is it possible? So to me, the feminine is not just some, passive person in the situation. She has decisions to make when these actions are taken towards her, or if they are. Does she want to revive it? Does she want to leave things in the past? Does she want to just put a cap on this and say, you know what? This was very life-changing for me. I'm happy that you returned, but I just don't think that I can do this anymore. It will be up to the feminine I'm getting here in this reading. It'll be up to the feminine whether or not she wants to revive this and whether or not she wants to carry on in this connection. So the actions of this masculine are very important to this feminine. It's kind of like actions speak louder than words. I'm going to need to see that you are wanting to fix this, that you are actually intending on showing me that you want to repair the damage that's been done. You're going to have to, in a way, prove to me that I can trust you again, or that, you really do want to open your heart up to me, that you really do want commitment, etc. And it's not to say that the masculine is bad and the feminine's just this wonderful person that's just done nothing wrong. That's not what we're saying in this reading. But from the feminine's perspective, if she wants to revive this and work together as a team, Three of Pentacles, it's going to be up to her whether or not she wants to resurrect this connection. But the actions of the masculine will determine whether or not she's going to revive this or not. So that's just kind of where she's at. If you're not ready for me right now and you don't want to fix things right now, that's okay. I'm going to move forward with my life and I'm going to keep carrying on. Okay, maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Maybe you're not the right person for me. Whatever's going on here, she's totally fine with being able to move forward no matter what. That's it. I love it. All right, you guys. So now we're going to move into the energies of the ascension journey. Okay, where is this ascension at this particular time for this masculine and feminine? In which ways are they growing and healing? So we're going to go into my divine feminine healing oracle. Sorry, now the cats are fighting. Okay, we have for some reason. Hey, stop! I have no idea why they're going at it right now. It's Sharky and Peaches. I embrace my emotions. Who knows, you guys? Maybe that happened at this particular time, and this card, for whatever reason, was upright. Because if whatever has happened between this masculine and feminine, whatever challenges you guys have experienced here, there could be still a lot of residual crap that you guys are still needing to cleanse. Okay? I embrace my emotions. I purge, I release. There could be some sort of releasing thing or ritual or something that someone needs to do. So that could just be an extra message that was coming through as a part of your ascension. You do really need to cleanse. And sometimes tears, stop it, you guys. Hey! Sometimes, I swear, these are like children. Sometimes the tears cleanse the soul. Okay? So that's a specific message for someone out there. So let's go ahead and get a message for the masculine. Where's the masculine? What is a part of his ascension at this time? What is he working on? We have vulnerable. See, opening my heart to the experience of love is truly living. Now I feel like this masculine has a difficult time doing this with this feminine. I do. I feel like he's not comfortable being vulnerable on this journey. And so this has something to do with him and how he feels and, just getting to that point where he is able to do that, because he's not truly living. He's not truly opening up his heart to experience this love. He's having a difficult time. So let's go ahead and go into my twin flame journey oracle. We have divine timing. So divine timing is huge when it comes to this masculine. Time will tell, you guys. Time will tell whether or not this masculine is going to be able to open his heart up fully to the feminine. And again, it's like the feminine, it's not going to do her any good to put her life on hold and wait for this. She does need to continue to carry on with what she wants to do and what she came here to do. Spiritual purpose, mission, things like that. This is my Twin Flame Journey Tarot. Knight of Swords, decisive action. Now, it's kind of interesting because we did just get, for this feminine, that her energy towards the masculine is action. Now we have Knight of Swords, decisive action. This masculine is going to have to take some sort of action towards her. She's either done pursuing him or trying to make something happen in this connection. She's done with that energy. She wants to transition into a different energy. That energy is not working. It's not serving her. It's not serving the connection, actually, because we're not allowing people to, we're not allowing people to do what they need to do on their own and come to their own conclusions when we're pushing and pushing and pushing. We're pushing our agenda. This feminine may need to pull away from this masculine at this point, or for some, they already have. And that way, it's sometimes when we're afraid. We're afraid to find out that maybe somebody really can't put in the effort, or they really don't want to do something. So we stay connected to them and we try to create conversation. We reach out here and there or whatever's going on here, but it's just kind of like there isn't really anything on the other end. We're still not getting our needs met, but we're still creating or trying to facilitate the connection. What I'm getting here for some of you guys is that you would be better off taking a sword and just kind of cutting away completely. And you're not doing it in a vengeful way. You're actually doing it in the name of love. You're letting go and trusting that if this masculine and you are meant to be, that he will return and he will take action towards you. Because the thing is, it can get very confusing for people. Does this masculine really want me? Does this masculine really want to, either come together and see me, or this and that? He's not really making any effort. He's not really saying it. And so there's all this guessing game that's going on. Well, when somebody takes action towards you, then there's nothing to be questioned. You don't have to wonder what someone's thinking. They're actually taking action. Action is very important in this reading today. Actions speak louder than words. So we're wasting our time by creating excuses for this masculine. If this masculine isn't taking action and doing something and making decisions, then that simply may just mean that he either doesn't want to or he's not ready. Either way, why are we continuing to push the agenda and waste time? So this is going to be for feminines that have hoped that this masculine would come back around, or that he would make a decision or take action towards her. If he's still not taking action and you've been waiting on this for months, even some of you years, it is time for you to focus elsewhere. This will be good for you. This will be good for the connection. That way, if he does take action towards you, reaches out to you on his own for a change, or says, hey, I want to see you, whatever's going on here, right? Then you're going to know that this masculine actually has it in him and it's his desire, not yours. So sometimes we get so wrapped up and we become so afraid that if we pull away or that we stop pushing this agenda or the connection, that we're going to lose it. If you lose it, it's not yours to begin with anyways. So it's better to just pull back, trust, have faith that if somebody really wants to do something, they'll do it. We don't need to make excuses anymore. And I feel like this is what this feminine in this reading here today is going to do, or she has done. She's pulling away for the need to make excuses for things that are not happening. She's pulling herself out of the clouds. She's pulling herself out of that gray area of the moon. She's going towards the light. She's going to go towards that 9 of Cups energy. She's just going to focus on the things that make her feel good. So if waiting around for this masculine, staying connected to him, just being friends, kind of accepting crumbs here and there, if that's not making you happy, stop doing it. Do something else that makes you happy. That is an energy changer right there. That's an energy shifter. So doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same result, isn't that the definition of insanity? What the hell are we doing? So this is going to be for some feminines out there that really need a little bit of a wake-up call. Okay? Because this masculine here, where he's out on his ascension journey, is that he does need to open up his heart. So if you're finding that your masculine is not opening his heart and you've been waiting around for decades for this to happen and it's still not happening, you might need to make a decision. Okay? If he's not making any effort or taking action towards you, you've got to pay attention to that. So it's not saying all is lost. It's not saying it can never happen, but you do have a responsibility to take care of yourself. So let's go ahead and get the feminine's ascension. What's going on for the feminine's ascension right now? I love this. I attract what is meant for me. Magnetic. Exactly. What wants you will be attracted to you. What your frequency is what you will basically pull towards you. So if you're chasing someone, it's actually, you're repelling that energy. You're not drawing it to you at all. You're getting in the way of that law of attraction. You're creating a dysfunction in the frequency field. So this is about trust. This is about being in that energy of the Nine of Cups, residing there, focusing on being happy and stoked and doing all these things that you love to do. You will draw other experiences or other people that are in that same vibration to you. But as long as we are chasing, and that's not to say all divine feminines are chasing, there are a lot of them in the collective that are doing this. And I have a right to say it because I do so many personal readings, and so I hear this and I see it a lot. So there is a good portion of feminines that are doing this. There are some feminines, however, that have finally gotten to a point where they're no longer willing to pursue this masculine and try to chase this masculine to get a certain or like a particular result. They're pulling away and they're trusting and they're having faith that if this masculine is ever going to, be ready, that he will let her know. And she's going to live her life in the meantime. So you're going to attract what's meant for you no matter what, divine feminines, no matter what. So it's important for you to just continuously be on that Nine of Cups energy, which is providing your own happiness, not looking to this masculine to provide your wishes fulfilled. Fulfill your own wishes. Be in that vibration. You will attract more of it. I guarantee it. Yep. Look at this. I can't believe it. I mean, yes, I can, because spirit is awesome. But look, we can't make it up. There's something in regards to action, 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 action. 3 words. Action. The thing is, it's not that you don't have to take any action, okay? Because people sometimes get the law of attraction a little mixed up. And I saw a great quote. I may have actually screenshotted it last night when I was going to bed here. Sometimes I sit up while Mr. Moon is snoring. I just get my quotes all together. And there was something about, hold on for just a second here. I may have just saw it, but I didn't click on it. Damn, I don't think. This wasn't the one, but it says, don't chase anyone. Get your shit together. You'll run into them later. Exactly. That wasn't the quote I wanted to read because it was something else, but it was like when we attach our wishes or our goals to a specific person, okay? We can't interrupt other people's free will. We can try to manipulate other people's free will. We can, absolutely. But it usually ends up, it usually doesn't go in your favor anyways, and it's not the kind of energy that you were originally hoping for because it's against someone's free will. So I'm not here to say that we can't manipulate other people, because we can. And we've all done it to some extent in our lives, and we've had it done to us, so we know how it feels. But all I know is that when somebody's trying to get something out of me that I'm not ready to give or I don't want to give, I'm repelled. I want to cut that person off and run for the fucking hills. That's just me. So this energy, when we try to pursue something or someone just feels that we're trying to push them, or we're trying to push our agenda onto them, we're trying to get them to see something that we want them to see, you're repelling that person. You're not drawing them in. So the more action that you take towards a specific someone, the more you're going to repel it and not attract it to you. It's actually going to have quite the opposite effect. So when it comes to the law of attraction, it's about having your attachment to a goal, something that is free of free will. People have free will. Objects and things don't have free will. You know what I mean? So it's not a good idea to interrupt someone else's free will frequencies. So when we have specific goals, so I attract happiness. I attract what is meant for me. I attract happiness. I'm a happy human being. I'm a person that just has happy experiences. I wake up every day and I'm just exhilarated and happy. Then you're in that frequency and you're doing things all day long that just, you watch funny movies, you spend time with your loved ones, you go out for a walk, you do things that you love. You're constantly in that frequency. You're going to draw more and more and more experiences that make you happy. You see? If you're constantly pursuing someone that isn't ready, is saying no, doesn't want the same things as you right now, can't see it, isn't on your same wavelength, you're just going to create more of this frequency of rejection. So this feminine right now is realizing that if someone specific, the masculine, is not taking action towards her, she's just going to go the other way. She's going to focus on something else. She's going to be in 9 of Cups energy. That's what's happening here. So the inactions of the masculine, or even the actions of the masculine, determine to her what she's truly looking for. So remember, you guys, actions speak louder than words. Someone can say something all day long, but if they're not taking any action towards you, it's meaningless. Or someone does something, but then they say, well, that's not what I meant. Somebody cheats on you, but then they say, well, that didn't happen. So sometimes those actions are speaking louder than someone's words, because what someone is doing versus what they're telling you, in the opposite way, they're gaslighting us. They're causing us to question our own reality as to what's even true. That's also something that we need to pay attention to. Why is this in our energy field? Why are we attracting this? Why are we dealing with people that we know are full of shit, that are trying to tell us otherwise? So this is a part of the feminine's ascension right now, that she is drawing certain things towards her. And remember, it's the original cards that came up for the journey. We're no longer going to be shackled to things that aren't serving us. We're going to take a good look at things. This could be a magnifying glass in a way. We're going to take a real good look at the actions or inactions around us. And we're just not going to play around anymore. We're not going to waste any more time, So that's what we have so far. So let's go ahead and get a tarot on this. Love it. 3 of Cups. This right here is surrounding yourself with love, surrounding yourself in joyous times, celebration and community. This is not being focused on a specific person. This is about being focused on your community, being focused on who you are in your community, what you want. Are you having a good time? Surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals. Those are the actions that you're going to be taking, Divine Feminine. So a part of your ascension is to connect more with other people instead of just this masculine's energy. Because this masculine's energy currently, and it doesn't mean it's negative, but he may not be ready for the same things that you're ready for. Okay? So it's not going to do you any good to chase him or to continuously pursue him or sit around and fantasize about a life that may or may not happen, right? So it was a little bit of a tough love message, but that's what's coming through today. So let's now take a look and get into what are some words that your person, so depending on if you're a masculine or feminine, it doesn't really matter, your person, what are some words that your person wants to say to you but finds it hard to? So we're going to go into my Twin Flame Journey Messages Volume 2 for this. We're going to get 3 cards. But before we do that, we're going to get 1 card from the El Key Oracle. she who once or loved once, blue. Fragile, secret love, rejection. Sounds kind of like the 5 of Cups to me, and the 4 of Cups that already came into this reading today that were connected to the masculine. So there could have been a rejection. There could be someone I once loved, which is the feminine. This feminine once loved me, right? Energy of blue, feeling blue. Now, of course, blue is throat chakra as well. And throat chakra can be connected to no communication. I'm blue because we don't communicate. We also have secret love. There could have been secrets. There could have been deception. Somebody could have lied. So there could be a lot of sadness around lies and deception. So let's go ahead and get the words. Okay. I know it might be too late by the time I figure things out. So this masculine is aware that he is perhaps not ready to make these wrongs right now, that he's not able to get with the program at this time with this feminine. And he knows that it might be too late by the time he figures things out. But he does have to figure things out on his own. That's just the way it is. What else? I care too much about what other people think right now. So to me, there's a lot of excuses here. There's a lot of excuses and a lot of explaining. You know, I know it might be too late by the time I figure things out, but I'm still, not going to do what I should do. I care too much about what other people think right now, which could be other people in their environment, other people in their situation. Some of them could care about what their children are going to think if they decide to step away from current, partners and mates. That's for some out there. So some of them may want to explain some of these things to you, but haven't. And also I see a little part of you in everyone that I meet. So to me, this is telling me that regardless of what this masculine or feminine, whoever this is, whatever they do, wherever they go, whoever they actually meet, they are going to be reminded of you. Okay? So it's not going to be an out of sight, out of mind situation. They're still going to see you. They're still going to feel you to some degree. They're still going to be reminded of you, right? This right here is the Wild Unknown Tarot. Seven of Swords. Yikes. Seven of Swords is a card of a liar, a deceptive person, somebody who may have cheated, and we have secret love blue. So I know it might be too late by the time I apologize or make wrongs right for running away, ghosting, walking away without an explanation, or apologizing. I know it might be too late. This masculine also, and I say masculine because it's probably masculine here, but this person is feeling, this person knows that you're blue over what happened here. They know that you're blue, but they know that it might be too late, or it might get to a point where too much time has gone on to where it's like she who once loved this masculine, by the time he figures it out, by the time he actually gets around or has the courage to make these wrongs right, he might get to a point where he realizes that this person, this feminine here, perhaps she once loved me, but does she still? That could be a problem for some of them moving forward. But what they want to tell you here is that some of them are actually sorry, but it's been such a long period of time since you've heard from them or since you've spoken that they're not sure that you even would care to hear their apology. I don't know why that's coming through for someone out there, but it is. The Hierophant. Okay, so there's a key here. And so to me, it's key to this person that you're dealing with, what other people think about them. There's certain family members, because I see the Hierophant as family, tradition, upbringing, value systems. This person cares about what other people think in their family, their community, their upbringing. They were raised a certain way. And so there could be a major difference between you and them. And that's just something that's really actually key that you may not even know about. You may not know how this really affects this individual. that their family will not accept you, or their family will not accept their choices, or that it doesn't align with what they think is right for them. You may not fit a certain image. They may really find you very attractive and have like this magnetic connection with you, but they could be ashamed of it at the same time. Okay? So this person, in a way, may have never told you this, but they could be telling you this through this reading right now. This right here is the Four of Wands. So the Four of Wands, I see a little part of you in everyone that I meet. In a way, you're a part of this person's foundation. You'll always be a part of their love foundation. So no matter where they go, who they're with, you're always going to be a part of their life. You know, you're always going to be a part of the way that they love. You're always going to be a part of their memories with that Four of Wands energy. Okay. And because they didn't have success with you in this connection, I'm getting here that you might be a part of their foundation to have success later on and to grow up. It may be with you, it may not be with you, but regardless, you are part of this person's soul development and growth. So in a way, what I'm getting here is that I see you and I see the things that we went through, and I see aspects of myself, or I see aspects of us moving forward and building foundations with other people. Like I've grown from the things that you've said. I've grown from the things that we've gone through. Almost like a thank you is what I'm getting from this person. And it's like a later message. It's not even current, it's later. So I'm just channeling a little bit of this information here, but I feel like the biggest thing that stands out to me is that someone may actually be sorry for something, but they've never expressed it to you. And there could be a reason why they rejected you, and it had something to do with what other people would think, and they sold out to that. So this is something they never told you. And they know that they broke your heart over this. So I don't know who that's for, but it's for someone out there. And you're always going to be with me no matter where I go. That's also a message too. So I hope that resonated and made sense to someone out there. So let's take a look now and get some upcoming influences and experiences on this journey, perhaps with this person. So this right here is the energy oracle cards. So we're going to get a card. Upcoming experiences on this journey with this connection. Okay, so we have hostilities. We did get the Five of Wands in this reading already. So there may still be this like stance of, being hostile. There may still be this need to protect yourself, or they're still protecting themselves. They may feel like you're hostile towards them. They may purposely not come towards you because they can't handle the hostility coming from you. So we're going to go into my Depths of the Sea oracle now. We'll get 3 cards here. Okay, so we have connection, dream lover. We have transparency, which is something that's very difficult for this masculine, is to be transparent. And we have detoxification, which is something that we're trying to do. We're trying to basically cleanse and let go of hostility. So this to me is something that is really happening within the connection. Both people are working on being more transparent and like salt water, cleansing and purifying and detoxifying things within this connection. Okay, this right here is called the Good Tarot. Okay, we have the Eight of Cups again. So this is the second time that the Eight of Cups has come up in the reading. The Eight of Cups came up connected to the masculine, remember? This to me tells me that a part of this masculine's ascension is from the connection and from the experiences that he has had in this connection. He's actually going to ascend and learn to be more transparent and detoxify a lot of these negative traits that he's been holding on to for quite some time. So I definitely feel like this masculine is ascending. He is improving as a human being, as a person. I definitely see it. But again, for some of you guys, there's no guarantee of that. And there's no guarantee that if that does happen, that's going to create an opportunity for the two of you to come back together. Nothing is absolute. We never want to put our lives on hold waiting for things like that. We do have the King of Cups. So some of you guys, this is a masculine who has mastered his emotions. This is somebody who is they're more mature. They're taking responsibility. And this is kind of cool because this did come up at the very beginning of the reading. People are taking responsibility. People are making wrongs right. So some of these masculines right now are in the process of trying to figure out how they can come to terms with themselves, how they can love themselves more so that way they can be more transparent and they can be more vulnerable. Remember, vulnerable came up as the Ascension key, and to where they can put their heart out on the line and not be so afraid to do that. We have the Six of Wands, which is victory and success. So this is possibilities in the future. So upcoming influences and experiences that are possible on this journey with this person. So hostilities, I'm getting here, may be healed. I'm getting here that people may be transparent. They may apologize. They may return after being away for a period of time. It could be that for some, after they walk away for a period of time, they come back as a king and they're victoriously able to, and they recognize the error of their ways, because the Six of Wands is also a card of recognition. We're recognizing someone's maturity. We're seeing how they've changed. We're seeing how they're more mature, but they also recognize their faults and they may be apologizing for that. So them being connected to you and what they've experienced with you is creating a lot of this ascension. Now, this isn't just about them. This is about you too. Remember, these are your future influences or experiences. Through this separation, through this walking away, through this moving forward energy, you're also maturing as a person. And you're having a lot of victory and success with what? Moving forward. Okay? So as you continue to cleanse, heal, be more transparent, maybe perhaps there's also other connections on the horizon for you. Doesn't have to be, but for some, if you're looking for other connections, you may connect with other people on this journey. You may have a lot of success with other partners, while perhaps maybe you're still, detoxifying from this particular soul connection. That's another possibility. So let me just get one specific energy from this masculine for the future. What is the energy of this masculine specific for this future energy? Possibilities of the future. Okay, so we have the Hanged Man. So this tells me here that this masculine might still be taking some time to figure things through. Maybe still stuck in his head. Maybe still not able to 100% change the circumstances. So this could be far off, distant future, okay, for some. Still not quite sure, still gaining some sort of perspective on the situation. What about the feminine's energy? Yeah, definitely feel like this feminine is actually the one that's moving forward, okay? Because the Three of Wands is somebody who's looking off into the distance. They're looking for future opportunities. So if you're a feminine watching this video, I do feel like perhaps there is some sort of an opportunity to connect with other individuals. It doesn't have to be romantic, but as this masculine is taking the time that he needs and kind of still hanging around here, lingering around, trying to figure his stuff out, this feminine may choose to go in another direction, which is, wonderful, because she may learn in different ways about herself. She may have victories. She may have successes. She may have, a really nice, wonderful time with new adventures and new people. So there's something off in the distance for the feminine. And it may be that her connection or reconnection or working this out with this masculine is off in the distant future. So again, it's another confirmation for her not to put her life on hold and wait around for this to happen. Keep living your life. Keep doing you. Keep moving forward. If this happens and it's meant to be, this masculine may return when he is much more mature on his journey. That's beautiful. And when I see this Hanged Man and all this water card, this to me, this is connected to Neptune. So Neptune is connected to the sign of Pisces. And this also tells me here with Neptune's energy, Neptune has a lot of connected energies just to like dreams, but also illusions and kind of just like being in that dream state, not fully awake. So this masculine may still not be fully awakened at this time. So it will take time on his journey while he's away. It's kind of like this is the feminine watching this masculine go off on the ship. And so she's looking off into the distance. She doesn't know when he'll return or if he'll return. but she's going to get in her own ship and move forward in another direction at the same time. So she still is living her life and showing up for herself while things are still complicated in this situation. So I think for some of this hostility is going to subside with time. And I think that you guys will continue to be connected as you continue to open yourselves up on your journey and cleanse yourselves on this journey. So it's actually quite beautiful, regardless of what happens. It's very healthy, very positive. So let's take a look and get some spiritual assistant energy. So this is spirit that is helping to guide us on our journey. We're going to go into the spirits of darkness and light divination deck that I created. And then we're going to get one card from the Witch's Wisdom Oracle. How is Spirit assisting us on our journey with this person? We have shadow. You know, I'm not surprised to see that at all, because a lot of that message came up in the very beginning of the reading. This is about illuminating through the shadow. We are growing through shadow. You know, shadow, you know, a lot of people are afraid of shadow. A lot of people see shadow as, you know, no good, evil, you know, darkness, no good. You know, it's all about being a light worker. It's all about love and light and all that other stuff. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but there is a shadow aspect to life. There's a shadow aspect to all people, and not all people are always operating in the light. And so this is, in a way, it's like being aware of shadow helps you to be a little bit street smart when you're dealing with individuals that don't have your best intentions at heart. Our shadows can really save us in, you know, shitty situations. So we're not meant to expel our shadow and say it's no good and cast it aside. We are meant to look at it, examine it, embrace it, acknowledge it, that it's there. When these feelings that come up that don't feel great, there's a reason that they're coming up, is because it's showing us something about ourselves, you know? So it's about making peace with the shadow. And you may want to operate more, of course, in a light way, but there's nothing wrong with looking at that shadow and going, you know what, that's a part of me for a reason, and it's here to help me grow and develop as a person. And so instead of ignoring it, I'm going to take a look at that. That's why we have scrying mirror. We're taking a look in the mirror. And this is another indication that this reading is amazing because of all of the similarities with the cards. It just keeps coming up. So we are looking into that image. We are looking at ourselves. And as you can see in the picture, looks a little gloomy. So it's definitely shadow energy here. We're looking into the shadows of ourselves. So Spirit is guiding you while you take a look at your shadow. And remember, the feminine, when it came to this reading today, she was in the moon, and the feminine was in, the masculine was in the sun. So we're definitely in our element as feminines. And sometimes when it comes to the moon's energy, we're meant to take a look at those shadows. We're meant to go within. We're meant to get clarity through the shadows, you know, through those dark times, so we can get to the, you know, the key. We can get to the solutions. We can get to better times. So if something is happening right now, Spirit is assisting us on a shadow journey or dealing with shadows. Okay, that's what we're seeing here. So let's go ahead and get some spirits. Spirit of the lightning. Power, strength, and expression. So lightning is a charge. Lightning is very powerful. You know, it's very strong. We also have expression coming through there. So we may have something that we want to express. We may have something that we've been holding deep down inside and we haven't been dealing with it. Some of us are repelling our shadow. Some of us are rejecting our shadow. We are ashamed of the shadow. And Spirit is giving us a message here that has to do with embracing our shadow. It's a part of who you are, you guys. See, look at that. Spirit of the woods, voices, goblins, and nightmares. Our nightmares actually have something to teach us. So if you guys are having nightmares, if there's certain things that are coming up in your dreams, as a matter of fact, I had this really, really strange nightmare last night with me and Mr. Moon. It was like, where did that come from? It was awful. But there's something in my subconscious that created that nightmare for a reason. There's something for me to see. There's something for me to examine. So I spent some time journaling, and it's interesting what came through as to why that may have come up. So it's kind of cool sometimes to do shadow work because it really does have something to teach you, right? Like our worst fears come through our nightmares. And we have Spirit of Christ, which is forgiveness, reconciliation, and unconditional love. So what a beautiful energy of Christ to come through after all that darkness. That's freaking amazing. That is freaking amazing to me. Okay. All right. Just so you guys know, I mean, some of you guys might not know this about me because I think some people mistake me being all into Halloween and, you know, darker stuff and shadow stuff, which a lot of it to me is just like gag stuff, like gag gifts and just like novelty. I don't believe in Ouija boards. I don't believe in any of that crap, but yet I just love them. I don't use crystal balls. I don't look at them and scry and see into the future through a crystal ball, but I freaking have a huge collection of them. You know what I mean? So I'm a huge fan of Jesus Christ. And a lot of people were like, well, wait a second. If you're a fan of Christ, then how can you read tarot and how can you do all these things? You know, I can still love the teachings of Christ and, still do other things. You know what I mean? But the Spirit of Christ is all about forgiveness and unconditional love. And loving others despite what they are doing or how they're treating you. And, sometimes the things that you go through in life can just be very, very difficult to have that forgiveness and unconditional love for people. There's still some people in my husband's family that I'm still working on that with. Yeah. All right. So this right here is the Silver Era Tarot, and we're just going to go ahead and clarify some of this, how Spirit is helping to guide us through these shadows. So Spirit of Christ is specifically with you. So some of you guys actually work with Christ, with Jesus Christ, the Spirit of Jesus Christ. This right here is helping you to transition from the shadow, to the light. And again, it's not about discarding the shadow. The shadow is here to teach you something. It is here for you to recognize something about yourself. Okay? But it might be time to balance it. Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords already came up in this reading, remember? It was a part of the masculine's ascension. Knight of Swords is somebody who's taking action. So when it comes to expression, when it comes to actions, remember, actions speak louder than words. Action is a form of expression, right? That's huge, okay? So some of us might be having a difficult time with someone not expressing themselves, someone not taking action, or dwelling on what people said. That's a huge one for me. My God. There's certain things that people have said to me in my life freaking decades ago. And some of that shit just still lingers in my head. I think I was watching, what was it? Oh yeah. Mr. Moon and I, because he was sick and I was sick too, but he was sick a little bit longer than me. So when he was off, we got into this marathon of Love Island. I love him so much. My husband is so amazing. I'm going to tell you, he used to watch The Bachelor with me. We no longer watch The Bachelor. But we love these reality shows, right? It's just crack to us. Just get so addicted to it. And we get all into the drama of the characters and all this other stuff. And we were watching Love Island Australia, which I frickin' absolutely love Australian accents. As a matter of fact, I think Siri on my husband's phone, she's Australian. But anyways, it's just such a wonderful accent to listen to. I just love it. So anyways, I actually like New Zealand as well. But we watched that particular one because it was just easier for us to understand than the UK one, even though we do like the UK one too. But anyways, enough of that. There was a particular season, I think it was season 2, and I don't want to give it away if you guys haven't seen it, but there was this like bad boy and this like really sweet Christian girl, and they happened to just hook up, and it was just such a beautiful romance that seemed to be unfolding, before our eyes. And I just remember I was just so giddy for her, and I was giddy for even him. And it just seemed like things were going so wonderfully. And all of the sudden, without any warning, he just woke up one day and he was just done. And I remember I just started crying, because it reminded me so much of a wound that I have, connected to an old partner, a wound that just is not 100% healed. I don't know that it will ever be healed. I don't know if that kind of pain will ever really truly go away. Now, that pain does not control my life or my thoughts anymore. I've definitely transitioned through that, which is amazing. But the wound is still there. I don't know that it's ever going to go away. So the only reason I'm bringing all this stuff up, you guys, is because I feel like sometimes when I talk about my personal stuff, it might help you guys to just kind of like resonate with that, right? So again, I don't know if that our shadow ever goes away. I don't know if those nightmares ever go away, but all that stuff came up for me again. And it could be one of the reasons that why it transitioned into a nightmare with Mr. Moon last night. It could be connected to that. But it was just like amazing how someone with the words that they say can linger in your mind and your subconscious forever. And so when I was just seeing these actions and listening to these words that this guy was telling this girl, I just was like not uncontrollably, but I couldn't control the tears, meaning, I had to keep it together because, I just didn't want to look like an idiot in front of Mr. Moon. Like, why are you crying over this? But it really got to me deep down in my heart. And it really made me feel just how I felt when those types of words were spoken to me, and how things were expressed to me, and how those words are still with me, like voices in my head that cause, and that really have created this to be a difficulty for me with this particular, person. So our shadow and these things that are basically given to us in this life are lessons for our healing and ascension. These things have happened to us for a reason. But remember, it's always up to us how we're going to navigate our journey and how we're going to allow these things to dictate the rest of our lives, So it's just amazing how everybody is different, and everybody takes different amounts of time to get through things, right? So there's no wrong or right answer here. There's no wrong or right way with dealing with grief. There really isn't. But I feel like what Spirit's trying to tell us here, if I could just get to the point, is that the words that are expressed or people that are expressing themselves through different actions and things like that, something has happened here that does need to be reconciled within us. We may wish to have that reconciliation happen with this person. We may wish to get this closure with this particular person. Some of us don't get it. When I hear stories that people, that have had beef and have, been hurt before and different things like that, when they have an opportunity to come back together with that person and have a conversation, how healing it is, there's a part of me that's jealous, because I haven't had that with this particular person, And sometimes I wish that I could have that, because I feel like maybe it will help me. Maybe it will just make things worse. Maybe it won't do for me what I think it will do for me. So sometimes what doesn't happen, sometimes it's just meant. Sometimes it's just better. But we have the duty in our own lives to create this for ourselves, deep within ourselves, Nobody can really put us back together except for ourselves. And so it's Spirit's way of having us embrace that, embracing these shadows and embracing the healing that can come through the shadow work. Yeah, so that was the point. I know it was long-winded. All right, now we have the King of Wands. I like this too, because the King of Wands to me is a master. The King of Wands also learns from his experiences. He's very seasoned. He's found himself on this journey. He has found his purpose. He has found his mission. So whether you're a male or female, it does not freaking matter to me. This is just you mastering yourself in this life. This is you, like the phoenix rising. You're rising through the ashes of these adversaries, of these experiences that you've had that may have been traumatic. You're learning from all of these things that may have happened to you that weren't pleasant. So you're surviving the shadows. You're rising through these ashes as the King of Wands. So that's what Spirit really wants you to focus on, is surviving this and not becoming a victim and laying on the ground with 10 swords on your back. That is not going to help you. You've got to get through this forest. You've got to get through these woods, these voices and these goblins and these nightmares. This is what we're, in a way, kind of replaying the old tape over and over and over again. And that really isn't going to help us on our journey. We came here to experience other things. We came here to experience joy too, not just misery. Okay? So now we have Spirit of Christ, reconciliation, forgiveness. Yeah, I love this. The moon. I really feel like this is the feminine's message. Okay? The feminine on this journey, and of course, remember, this is the second time the moon's come up now. She's learning through the shadow. She's surviving. She has to go within, you guys. That's, to me, the moon. The moon is also the high priestess, and the high priestess is going within. She has to go within for forgiveness. She has to reconcile something within herself. She has to learn a lesson in unconditional love. And perhaps this person that she chose for this lesson has hurt her so deeply, but it's forever changed her for the better, because she was able to really find herself through this connection. She was able to find herself and step into her power through all of these things that happened to her through this connection. Okay? So, in a way, this person is a blessing in disguise. They're actually an angel in disguise, or a demon in disguise, one or the other. And this connection can be one of the greatest blessings in your life if you allow it to. But you do have to make peace within yourself when it comes to this person. Okay? And you don't have to come together with them in the physical world. You don't have to have a conversation with them in order for this to happen. This is something that you can do within yourself. You can resolve this issue within you. So this person has been a great teacher to you. And you're also a teacher to this person as well, because remember, they're going to take with them aspects of you, and they're going to continue to see you and be reminded of you in every person they meet moving forward. Okay? So in a way, you and this person are forever connected. It just, for whatever reason, you guys are experiencing challenges or are in separation with this person. Some of you may hear from them again. Some of you may not. Some of you may be meant to be with this person later on in life, and some of you guys may be meant for something else. So that's why it's very important for you to just keep doing you, carrying on, and move forward, no matter what. Okay? So that is what Spirit's advice is for us, the guidance that they're giving us at this time. And now we're going to end this reading here with some self-care messages. So we're going to go into my Tall Tales cat crew with my kitties. And let's see what cats have messages for us today when it comes to self-care. We've got Sharky, learn to adapt. Yeah, this is my tarot card box, and she's sleeping in it. Look at her. She can't fit in there, but learn to adapt. And that's a hard thing, you know. It's hard to learn, or it's hard to adapt to things that aren't necessarily what you want to adapt to. You may not want to adapt to the separation. You may not want to adapt to this person not being in your life. But you must go on. You must survive. Focus on the light. Look at this. This is beautiful. So remember, our shadow is not about focusing on the shadow. We're meant to look at it. We're meant to acknowledge that it's there. But we're also meant to look at the light too. We're meant to focus on both of them. But the thing is, when you focus more on the light rather than what's gone wrong, rather than all of the shadows and all of the challenging times, you will create more light experiences for yourself. You will naturally uplift your energy field. And that's Endy. Last message with this one. We've got, I think that's Endy's leg and Chips. Restrain yourself. Look at his leg is restraining Chips. Restrain yourself for the need to chase, to change things that you cannot change, to control other people. Restrain yourself, because it's not going to do you any good. Okay? So these are messages for self-care. This is Shine Your Light cards. Shine from the inside cards, oracle cards. We're going to just get one. Commit to self-care rituals. Oh, that's amazing. One of my favorite things in life, you guys, is spa days. Oh my God. One of my favorite things to do when I go to Vegas, which I haven't been in a very long time, is go to one of the day spas. Like, I love the Mandalay Bay. That's probably my favorite day spa. But I haven't been to all of their day spas, and I haven't been in a while, so it might be a little unfair for me to say it's my favorite. But I just love their little sanctuary space with their pools and their steam room and all this other stuff. And I'm sure, you know, with quarantine and everything like that, it's probably like not even open, or maybe it is, but there's probably all these like regulations. So it probably wouldn't be that great. But anyways, commit to self-care rituals. God, I mean, we can really just put a face mask on with some cucumbers on our, eyes. And that's a self-care ritual. I take a bath every day. You know, I love my bath, and I love face masks. I love Origins. It's like one of my favorite beauty lines. I love the masks that they make. I think I got a lip mask for, it was in my stocking this year. It was freaking awesome. I put that over my lips, and it was just like this, it like looked like a pair of plastic lips, but then you put it on, and it was so much fun. And body scrubs and bath bombs. You guys know I love bath bombs. So it's little things like that that you enjoy that are very important for your self-care. Do things that you want. Go out and get that pedicure. Go get that massage. I don't know in quarantine, you know, how much we're really participating in that kind of stuff, but that's why I'm giving you guys a lot of ideas for at home, right? At home. I love it. So this right here is called the Muse Tarot. And when we're in a more relaxed state, we're not really focused on all that crap that's happening. We're actually happy. We're in a positive vibration. Six of Pentacles. This is equal exchanges of give and take. This is like what you put out there, you're getting back. Law of attraction at its finest. You know, spending time with people who are giving to you in an equal way. Both people are participating. We're both on the same page. We're not wasting our time chasing after people that don't want the same things as us. We're hanging out with like-minded people, okay? So this right here is telling you to restrain yourself for the need to go after things that are just going to end up empty, that aren't going to give to you what you're putting in. And it's not about we're doing something to get something back in return. This is just about energy. This is about something that feels good for both parties, you know? I mean, you guys have had relationships like that. You guys have relationships like that now, friendships like that. And then when something feels off, you're not happy. But when it's on, you're just like, oh my God, like it just feels so amazing. It feels so peaceful. I just feel this is so great, you know? So, and this also helps you to focus on the light, being in a higher vibration, higher spirits, better frequency. We have the Four of Materials, which is the Four of Pentacles. So some Pentacles energy is coming up, which has something to do with the physical world. May even be our physical body. The Four of Pentacles is this fear of letting something go. So this is telling us here, learn to adapt, learn to let go, restrain yourself from your need to hold on to something that isn't giving you back what you're putting in. This is lopsided energy. So release your need to give and get nothing back. Some of us may have been taught that that is love. Some of us might think that that's what unconditional love means, but it does not. Okay? Especially if we're expecting something in return that is not unconditional love. If we're feeling slighted and we're feeling depressed because someone isn't returning our call, that's not unconditional love. There are conditions with what we are putting out there. It's very difficult to reach out to somebody and just be able to let go, you know? And I've heard it. I've done it myself. And you think to yourself, you know, when you send out that message or that phone call, if I never hear from this person again, I'll be okay. Most of the time it's total bullshit. But, you know, some of you guys, maybe that is true. But we have to learn to let go and let things flow in the energy. So we need to release our need and restrain ourselves from putting too much energy into things that we're not really getting the same in return. That is a message for whatever reason. Let's get one last card to wrap up this reading today. We have the Emperor. To me, this, first of all, this is masculine energy, but we have a feminine on this card, so I really feel like this is a message for the feminine in particular. Be the king or the queen of your own empire. Don't let anybody be in control of your happiness. Sit on your throne and basically conduct yourself in a manner to where you demand respect and you demand reciprocity. Meaning, what you put out there is what you give. And if somebody is not showing up with equal energy, you're just not going to deal with it. You're going to let people go. You're not going to hold on to people that don't want to be held on to. You're only in control of yourself, and that's the Emperor. The Emperor is in control of his life and his life only. He's not in control of other people. Now, like a king, other people may want him to be in control. Other people may want him to tell them what to do, but you're not in control of other people. You're only in control of your own healing and your own ascension and your own journey. So restrain yourself from trying to control things that you can't control and learn to adapt to a new version of you, which is no longer participating in situations or relationships that are not serving you. Release your need to hold on tightly to things that are not of equal measure. So you guys, I hope that you enjoyed today's reading. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.